Welcome to TerraVerse TV. Today, we're doing an explainer on one of the greatest secrets hidden right beneath our planet. We're going to take you further beneath the surface than ever before to see exactly where science meets discovery. Seriously, take a second right now and look down at the ground beneath your feet. It feels incredibly strong, doesn't it? Solid, totally unshakable. I mean, it supported our cities, those massive mountain ranges, ancient forests, and billions of us for thousands of years. But is the Earth really still? What if that whole illusion of permanence is just a tiny part of the story? Because, well, while you're listening to this explainer, the ground beneath your feet is actually moving. And what's just absolutely wild is the sheer scale of it all. Entire continents are literally drifting across our planet right now. They're moving slowly, silently, every single second of the day. And yeah, the distance is tiny. We're talking only a few centimeters each year. To put that into perspective, that is literally about as fast as your fingernails grow. Crazy, right? How in the world can trillions of tons of rock, carrying whole oceans and countries, just travel across the Earth like that? So let's get into Section 1, Earth's Invisible Engine, Hidden Beneath Us. To really understand Earth's hidden structure, the crucial thing we have to wrap our heads around is tectonic plates. You see, our planet isn't just one giant, solid piece of rock. It's actually not like that at all. Its outer shell is essentially broken up into these absolutely enormous sections that carry the oceans and the entire continents. They kind of fit together like a giant puzzle to form the fragmented surface of our world, and they're the absolute basis of all this incredible movement. Now, from space, Earth looks, incredibly peaceful. It's this beautiful blue planet just floating in the darkness, with white clouds and calm oceans reflecting the sunlight like a giant mirror. But beneath that calm, peaceful exterior, there is a fiery, dynamic, and honestly chaotic reality hidden deep beneath the crust. Because thousands of kilometers below the surface, beneath all those layers of solid rock, is a world hotter than almost anything we can even imagine. Temperatures down there reach a staggering 5,000 degrees Celsius. And just to put that number into perspective for a second, that deep interior is almost as hot as the surface of the sun. No way, right? And at those extreme 5,000-degree temperatures, solid rock actually doesn't stay completely rigid. Over millions of years, it begins to flow very, very slowly. Imagine heating a pot of thick honey. It doesn't move fast, but give it enough heat and enough time, it begins to circulate. Hot rock rises up, cooler rock slowly sinks back down, over and over again, basically creating this massive, invisible conveyor belt that carries those tectonic plates resting right above it. Moving on to Section 2, Birth of Mountains and Volcanoes. Monumental results. It's wild to think about, but the highest peaks on our planet actually exist because of massive plate collisions that are still happening today. When two enormous plates move toward one another and neither is willing to budge, they just push against each other for millions of years. The pressure keeps growing stronger and stronger until the Earth's surface literally has nowhere to go but up. It rises inch by inch, century after century, birthing those towering mountain ranges we marvel at today. But, not every collision creates a mountain. Walk through this subduction process with me. Sometimes one plate is actually forced beneath another, sinking deep down into the Earth's interior. And as it sinks, that immense heat we talked about begins to melt the surrounding rock. Slowly, that molten magma rises back up toward the surface. And then, one day, bam! The Earth erupts without warning. Ash fills the sky, rivers of lava flow across the land, and just like that, a volcano is born, completely changing the landscape forever. All right, Section 3, Earthquakes Unleashed, Destructive Force. The heavy truth about earthquakes is that there's this silent, terrifying process that builds up completely unnoticed by us on the surface. Sometimes, two tectonic plates become locked together. They desperately want to keep moving, but friction holds them super tight. Decades, sometimes even centuries pass by, and while our cities grow larger and larger above them, they are silently storing up an unimaginable amount of energy deep beneath the ground. Then, in just a matter of seconds, they break free. The ground shakes violently, roads split, and this pure, violent chaos releases generations of silently stored energy in an instant. Which brings us to Section 4, the birth of a tsunami, a deadly wave. When these catastrophic releases of energy happen deep beneath the ocean floor, the sequence of events is deadly. First, a massive section of the seabed suddenly rises or collapses, violently displacing billions of tons of water.
Then the sea suddenly starts pulling away from the shore. Boats get stranded on the sand, and the seabed is completely exposed. Honestly, it's a terrifyingly deceptive warning sign, because just minutes later, a giant, inescapable wall of water crashes onto the coastline, making entire towns vanish in a matter of minutes.
When we look back at history's greatest tsunamis, the human reality of all this science is deeply, deeply humbling. In the 2004 disaster, a massive earthquake beneath the Indian Ocean triggered a devastating wave, where tragically more than 230,000 people lost their lives. Then, look at Japan in 2011. A massive magnitude 9.0 earthquake struck there. The resulting tsunami flooded entire communities and, as we know, led to the Fukushima nuclear disaster.
These global tragedies shock the world, and they leave us with a very humbling reflection. Nature will always be more powerful. Despite our highly advanced technology and our massive, sprawling cities, we are profoundly reminded of Earth's immense, totally uncontrollable forces.
Let's zoom out a bit for Section 5, Continents in Motion, Earth's Life Cycle.
So, billions of years ago, every single continent was joined together as Pangaea. There was no Atlantic Ocean, just one giant map, completely unlike the one we know today. Over hundreds of millions of years, that invisible engine we talked about resulted in the supercontinent slowly breaking apart into our present-day layout. But if we look ahead to Earth's future, the journey hasn't ended. Not at all. Scientists actually project that 250 million years from now, these landmasses may collide once again to form the next supercontinent. The Earth literally never stands still.
And get this, we can actually track these moving continents right at this very moment. It's happening right now. Australia is continuing its journey, moving steadily north. The Atlantic Ocean, it's becoming slightly wider every single year. Parts of Africa are slowly splitting apart as we speak. Oh, and new land is continuously being created right now beneath the Pacific. These changes are almost impossible to notice during a single human lifetime, but they are happening all around us every day. And finally, Section 6, our living planet, constantly changing.
So the ground beneath your feet might feel completely permanent, but in reality, you are standing on one of the most dynamic planets in the universe. Every single mountain and earthquake tells the exact same story. It's a planet that has been actively shaping itself second by second for more than 4.5 billion years. And you gotta wonder, perhaps the greatest changes are still waiting, hidden right beneath our feet. Thanks for watching this explainer, and definitely stay curious about the incredible forces shaping our world. See ya! Well.